Hi all, welcome back to Actual Play Burning Wheel. Last session, things went great. We got attacked by dwarves and trolls, and we had to flee into the Herthos tunnel to uh, to escape them, and we had to collapse everything behind us. So I was just telling Judd, I imagine that all of the hosts and the guilders and the clan all packed into this tunnel. It's like being in the trenches of World War One. Like you have to like squeeze past people, and the torches are like whipping against this, like whisking against the ceiling, and like air is probably finite. Like it's not running out yet, but I can imagine it being it's a concern. In fact, I have an instinct about that maybe is germane. Um, let's see. When entering a shaft, start by making sure it's ventilated so we can breathe. Yeah, I didn't do that. did not did not make that happen. So
Yeah, I think um, you heal as you like shoulder your way through, past the cramped bodies. You hear you get to the door that's at the end of this hallway, and there's like the golden light coming out from under it, and Hirtho and Krabika are standing in front of it, and Boj is like he sees that the gold light under the door, and he is like pushing in. He was like, "Boy, get out of my way!" And
mhm.
he's like, "Sir, we should wait until my mother gets here. You could collapse the whole tunnel by opening that door. We don't know what's going to happen. I know what's
Yeah,
going to happen. We're going to be rich." And he goes, I don't know if that's how this is going to go." And then like when he sees you, he looks like you see him look at you like, "I can't hold this off much longer,"
yeah. Um, I think I try to speak a language that Boj will understand that might snap him out of this for a moment. Maybe
Yeah,
not. But I say,
yeah.
Boj, we've been attacked from both sides, and I try to catch up. I try to basically like say that as like a little bit of a placeholder, kind of get his attention till I can get my way to him, and I and I think oh my god, what is it with me and characters having wounds? I think I show like my burnt hand. Like it's not terrible, but like like I show that
Yeah.
my hand is burnt. Um, and I just try to like get him to pay attention to me for a second. Is can I get his
Yeah,
attention, or
yeah,
is he
yeah.
fixated?
He looks at you and says, "You lit up a wheel to get here?"
I had to. Dwarves of the Iron Gods came at us from the other side. They were working with the trolls. They were trying to ambush us from both sides. So we collapsed both the main tunnel and the entrance to this tunnel. Right now, this little bit of air we have and this little tiny space is all that separates us between a band of marauding murderers and how do I a band of cave dwelling underground marauding murderers and some trolls.
Nice.
Um, and I say Hertho's right. Raise my son to know these tunnels. This door has been here for ages, and it could be a support structure. And if it collapses, we're trapped on both sides.
He squats down and looks under it, and takes off a glove and puts his hand to it. Says, "Feels like there's air coming through."
That's a good sign. We're gonna need it. Let me get the clan to reinforce it. Make sure that it's not load bearing, and then we'll follow your lead.
Yeah, do your job.
I love that. Like I'm definitely like doing all the most boring part. Like he's like, this is the boring part. I want to go in and get myself some treasure, but I really
Yeah.
don't think I can hold him back any longer. I mean, I can do what Herthos said. I can reinforce the door, but it's not like once this door opens, I'm gonna be able to be like, wait, let me go look and stay ahead. You know,
Right.
once it's open, he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. Uh, I just started reading Void, the book 3 in the Burning Empires, or
Okay.
the Iron
Yeah.
Empires. And Iron Empires is got a lot of similar cosmology to Burning Wheel.
Yeah.
Burning Empires kind of came out of it, and there's this very greedy second to the
Nice.
Forge Lord guy who just like runs right into battle and gets his whole fleet, like all his ships destroyed, and so yeah, Boj is reminding me of this character. Yeah, I think I imagine the size of it. It's fairly trivial for us to support it. I think it takes some time, but I don't know that. I mean, I'm happy to make another excavation roll if you think that there's a major threat. But my goal here is to just sort of make sure that we're kind of prepared when the door opens.
Yeah. I think Hirtho starts to like help you, and he says, uh, "I didn't think that lie was going to work."
Well, let's keep it up.
Does
Let's make
does
appearances, right? Like I know he
that
was lying, but we're gonna go through
yeah?
the steps.
Does Hirtho know about your oath to Boj? Like that would have been a big public thing, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't have an oath. Oh, about my oath to Boj? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. He says, could you call on that oath? Ask for the honor of going through the door without him?
There may be a dragon's open maw on the other side of that door.
I'll be with you. Me and Krabika will keep you quiet. Tell you where to step.
How much is Hertho acting out of care for his mother and respect for me, and how much is he acting out of greed and desire for glory?
I think you have no idea.
Yeah,
I mean, how much does anybody ever know that?
yeah. Well, I think part of part of building relationships with people is taking risks and trusting them, and you know, um, sometimes burning your hand because of it, right?
Right.
Sometimes it backfires. Um, yeah, so I think we get like to the point where they're kind of doing all the stuff, and where's Fiona right now? If he's around, I know it. If he's around. If he's visible, I'm watching him.
I think he's not far away.
Okay.
Uh, like watching you and um, he's watching you and Hirtho
Yeah.
uh, like reinforce this hallway.
Yeah. I want to make sure he hears this conversation. I want to make sure that I'm close enough. I'm not going to shout. I just want to make sure that he can hear me when I'm telling this to Boj.
Yeah.
Mostly so that he can step in if it's applicable. And we finish up the work, and I come to Boj and I say, "Okay, I felt air under the door, just as you said. I felt heat too, which I think is fair to say.
Hmm.
That's not a lie." And I say, we might open this door to the treasure of the vault, or we might open this door to the dragon's maw. I swore an oath to you that I would return you. I would bring you back treasure from the vault. Let me earn that oath and go in with my team, rather than risking the prince's warden's life. There's nowhere for me to go but back out here. I will return and I'll tell you what I found, and I will bring you back the dragon's treasure. if it, you know. And I think the sentiment here is like, you know, a piece of it, right? Like obviously if there's huge gobs we can go in, but I don't know, maybe that subtext is picked up, maybe it isn't.
Yeah, I think he says, word up and down this tunnel is that Bella did well of herself among the rear guard. So she'll stay with me. She won't be a member of your team. She'll stay here with me and help me keep order.
That'll be good practice for her.
Good.
And that was our deal, right? Is that he was going to make her a graybeard.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Commander.
Yeah.
And so he's holding her hostage, but he's also kind of coming through on his end.
Yeah. It's a fine line, but yes.
It's a fine, right? Yeah. I would love to take Bella with me, but I think that there's a genuine truth here that if he goes in, no one else is going to be able to stop the rest of the dwarves from piling in after him. And so by him staying here, he can keep order, and I can take a small group, and we don't all pile in, because I think no one's going to stay behind if the warden is entering the vault. They're going to want to see for themselves too.
Yeah.
I say, okay. I'm taking Timon, the one who reads history. And that's a reference back to how did this elf know all these things?
Yeah.
You know, it's just because I read history. You know.
Yeah.
And taking Timon, the one who reads history, and my son Hertho and his adventurer friend.
Be safe.
I'll return to you with glory in your I'll return to you with glory for your name. And yeah, assuming, you know, I give Bella a hug, and I tell her to take care, and I tell her to watch out for herself and for others, and you know, I tug on her braid. And I tell her, you know, not to make me shave it. It would look real awkward to shave that middle braid. And yeah, and then I head in with then we open the door.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think we need to make a roll. Let's see. Let's see if you wake the dragon up. Do you let Hirtho kind of take charge? Sean?
Whoops, I muted myself. Yeah, I don't have stealthy. At least I don't think I do.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was not something that was held over from Bina. Let's pull it up. I took Soothing Platitudes as a nod to Bina, but nope, no stealthy. So yeah, I think it's on Hertho to lead us here. I asked Fiona to help him.
Yeah, he does.
Cool.
Wow, it's a shitty roll.
That was a shitty roll, yeah. 1-6 if it matters, but
we'll see. It does not.
All right.
Yeah, so I think you are making your way through. You go into this little door that's like in an alcove, and I think it is an alcove with a lamp kind of in an iron hook, an iron circle in the that's embedded in the ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I think the gold light is obvious, right? It's gold.
Wow.
It's piles of gold coins on shelves. You know, like other people might have books,
Mm-hmm.
and
I feel like a bank robber.
yeah, and Hirtho like points out to different areas that could be troublesome, and you're walking through what seems to be quietly, and when you like this little alcove opens up into a greater uh, chamber,
Yeah.
which is
Before I get there, I want to ask you a question.
yeah.
I don't. Um, do I need to make a steel test because of all this gold? Like, I don't know if I don't remember how greed works in the presence of incredible wonder.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the things that I might need to do is make a steel test. One of the options in the steel test, I don't think it's the option I have to pick, but I think one of the options is I must have it. So if I fail, then I have to just seek
Right.
out the wealth.
And isn't there something where like one of them you don't really care about? Like there are like four different things you can be greedy for, and one of
Oh
them,
yes, you're right. And I don't know if I've said that. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's pull. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That all dwarves. Maybe I don't covet gold.
I mean, I think we owe everyone the streaming content that we can deliver,
Only we
which
can.
is us with our eyes down looking at the burning wheel book while we
Yeah.
go through rules and people watch us. I mean, I feel like, I mean, Critical Role, eat your heart out.
Yeah.
This is
This is high caliber streaming. I
this is
actually.
high caliber stuff, man. I who needs voice acting when
I.
you can watch me and Sean look at the densest rule set in all of gamingdom.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
it's worth reading. I'm gonna read the Dwarven Greed chapter, and then maybe you
yeah.
can read the Greed and Play, and we can go. So,
The greed idiom. Choose three of the four categories: riches, physical beauty, craftsmanship, power. So which of the or more likely, like choose which one isn't interesting to you.
which where is this? Sorry, just so I'm
Page 122.
122. All right, I'm looking right at it, and I still don't see it. The Greed idiom. There it is. What's your pleasure? Once the starting exposure, the dwarf player must choose what his character loves to master. Choose three of the four. Okay. So what don't I crave? Riches, gold gems, physical beauty, craftsmanship, power. Wow, this is a good. Thanks, Matt. Jay. Yes, this is IRL actual play. Okay, I think I do crave craftsmanship.
Yeah.
That is something that I think I've shown so far. Although I don't feel. Oh, this is hard. Um, does it feel cheatery for me to say riches is the one that I don't crave? Because I feel like I do want power. I don't want like prince level power, but I want
Right.
like I have my clan and I'm
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get my family into positions of power and I'm trying to like I feel like I've been playing a character who cares about social status and all of those things.
Yeah.
Um, so craftsmanship and power are obvious ones to me. Physical beauty, I kind of like the idea of being compelled by a beautiful sculpture or
Yeah.
a beautiful thing over riches. So does it feel cheatery to say riches is
Nope.
the one thing that doesn't?
Nope. 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 It's
Okay.
not. It's
Okay.
absolutely not.
All right. Then yeah, that's I'm gonna say I crave physical beauty, craftsmanship, and power, but
Cool.
not riches.
Yeah. 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 And I think, I mean, it's not like you're not going to see the other things here, right? It is, it's all going to be in the horde somewhere.
Right.
And it opens up onto uh, a greater chamber, which I think used to be like the main vault library.
Nah, that's got me my interest.
Yeah, but now it's covered in uh, it's covered in mounds of gold and gems, and sleeping atop of it uh, is the dragon. Um, and it's this this amazing vaulted ceiling cavern, just like a cathedral of a library mine, and yeah, it heard you, it heard you enter,
Yeah.
and I think it opens its eyes and exhales, and you feel like there's this blur in front of its breath, as of heat,
Yeah.
and it exhales, and you feel like the furnace within it. Um, and it says, "Do the burglars wish to name themselves before we get to the inevitable?"
Will it grant them any clemency? And I have a step forward.
And I think the other thing that you see is that I mean, Hirtho and Krabika are terrified.
Yeah.
Tolman is terrified,
I'm terrified. I mean,
but I think uh, what really shocks you is to um, see Fiona Cecile terrified. Like,
mm-hmm.
his eyes are big, and yeah, he is he's pretty sure this is it.
Yeah, I am too.
And
I mean, I think everything I told the warden was true. You know.
it can't hurt.
Well, I think Polara doesn't know the etiquette of sharing a name with a dragon.
Yeah, yeah.
this is not something she knows, so she's not going to speak for everyone. But she says, "I'm Polara, and I've led this expedition. We've come to recover two who entered, and a foolhardy on because of a foolhardy boast, foolhardy dare."
Hmm.
And I think there's something to say for at this point we have not taken any of the treasure. Like we
Right,
didn't get in there and be like, So I don't know if that means anything, the dragon, but
right.
um,
So
and
you
I
haven't
kind of
come.
look to see like if any of the others are going to introduce themselves. If they don't, that's fine. But I just kind of wanted to.
I, I think they're following your lead.
Okay.
And the dragon says, "How interesting. You're not here for treasure."
And Polara just gets this real disappointed, frustrated look on her face, and she says, "Our expedition is sent to recover the Elven consort, and Prince Chovka's brother, Prince Prince Bulat's brother."
Huh.
And like she can't not say it. Like it's an oath. You can't lie about oaths. You can't dodge
You
around
totally
oaths.
can. You totally can.
I totally can. I
I
can
mean,
totally
people do
not.
it all the time. I'm not going to tell you what you can or can't do. If you feel like you need to say it, then you need to say it. So, I mean, that's is totally up to you. Uh,
Yeah. Um, my attempts at falsehood have failed in the face of Warden Boge. I don't really want to try them with the dragon. So I say, yeah. So I was very careful to preface that the goal of the expedition is to do this, and I say, however, personally, I am oath sworn to return with some of your treasure to my lord.
Hmm.
If you can find it in your generosity to allow the expedition to succeed and only, say, immolate myself, I would find that. And I don't think she can even like she's just too scared, right? Like she doesn't know how
Yeah.
to talk to a dragon.
And I think Kirthos says, no, no, you can't do this. She could, she could, she, she's the greatest tunneler in all of Wheelholt. She can dig tunnels all over the vault for you. She could open up new mines, get you new treasures. Really? What's your name? I'm I'm her son, Hirtho. Hmm.
My son isn't wrong. I don't like to boast, but I could extend your domain.
Huh. I do like new treasure. Yes. What treasure would you bring your lord?
I sort of look around you know,
Yeah.
the resplendency of it, right? And although I
Yeah.
am not personally driven by riches, it's not like I'm ignorant to them, right? Like it's not like I don't see something. I'm gonna look for something that is remarkable and beautiful, something that is a huge statue that's gonna take all five of us to carry out, or a tapestry that is gilded in gold, or a gem that is the size of your fist, something ostentatious and incredible. Do I see anything
Yeah.
of that? I mean, I imagine
Um
there's lots of that stuff, but I don't know.
yeah, I was just looking through the magical artifacts.
Hmm.
Just to see if there's anything particularly interesting. Uh but I think
Actually, hold on a second. This is an old dwarven hold. I mean, this
yeah.
used to be dwarves, right?
Yeah.
So I think I want to find something that specifically. I mean, I want it to be encrusted with gems and made of gold and all these things too. But I want it to have historical significance to tie back to the dwarves of the vault. I want it to be something that someone could hold and say, I claim the vault as I claim the vault as my own. Now, obviously, if there's a dragon there, that
Right.
would have to be dealt with, but that somebody could say, like, even though it's not really occupiable, like the vault is mine because I hold this thing, because I have this scepter or whatnot. I'm the
Yeah.
lord of the vault. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's like big. That's like power and status, and it's also just reclaiming, like, the dragon might have our physical land, he might have our horde, but he doesn't have the name. I don't know. I don't know if that is meaningful
Yeah, I love it.
to
I
voters, but it's
think
meaningful to me, I think.
yeah, I think there is the uh it is the lore tablet of the dwarves. I think, when dwarves want to write a note, they do it on paper
Paper.
or skin. When they
Mm-hmm.
want to say something real, they chisel it into stone.
Yeah.
and so there is like a tablet with all of the names of the princes uh, of the vault, and then in the middle of that tablet is a gem the size of a warden's fist.
Perfect. So I think I'm kind of surveying everything, and when I see it, my eyes just kind of lock on it,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move to it or anything like that, but I say the lore of the vault of the lore of the dwarves of our time in the vault, and I sort of like nod at it. That's what I would return, my lord.
Hmm. This will take you some time to earn earn back from me. You sure this is what you want? You could get something less resplendent. Maybe a nice axe.
I swore an oath, and anything less than that would be shirking my duties. Hopefully that grants me some esteem in your eyes, that if I tell you I will dig a tunnel for you, I will not dig any meager tunnel.
And I think like using the correct dwarven uh, etiquette, the dragon requests that you swear an oath, um, stating that if you get, the consort and Bulat's brother
Mm-hmm.
returned, along with, the lore gem of the vault, you will stay until that debt is repaid and dig tunnels until the dragon deems it, uh, you know, until till the dragon deems that your ledger is in the black.
Yeah. I think my only caveat is I can't free the dragon. The tunnels can't leave. So
Mm,
does the oath include I will dig deep down, or this is me asking you, Judd, like, is it fair for me to stipulate from the way the dragon says it within Dwarven etiquette that this is digging deep into finding treasures, or could the dragon say, okay, dig me out of this hole, because
yeah,
that I don't think I could do, right? But
I love it. I maybe that isn't stated. Like you just have to earn the money back,
yeah,
right? It's not so much like I don't think it's said that you have to free the dragon.
okay,
But I think it's not said that you don't. So
right,
yeah, yeah, I think that could be like an interesting tension in
uh
this
huh,
relationship.
yeah. I think I like the idea of leaving it in up to interpretation, right? Like
Yeah,
leaving it. I think I would say I will dig you to any depths you desire, right? Which
yeah,
technically above is depths, but in Dwarven tongue that's down, right? Like I will dig
yeah.
down, but like I think by using depths, it's just in that like I want to go up. I think that's a good like uncertainty. Um, and I think that like with dwarves, it's pretty reasonable to have some like negotiation regarding oaths.
Yeah.
So I say I will be spending many years with you. I'll have to learn how you come to know our customs. Before I swear this oath to you, can you tell me what happened to the prince's brother and the consort? Are they still alive?
They were caught trespassing and they were put into an oubliette where they remain to this day.
And you know, Palara thinks that the dragon is insinuating that they were caught by the dragon,
Yeah.
but um, and I say and they live still. They're You've kept
They are
them.
alive. Yes, I don't play those kind of word games. I'm not some kind of child's tale genie.
I truly would not know. Yes, I kind of looked at her though, like thank you for saving my life because you gave me an option that didn't involve me dying or being an oathbreaker. And I look to him and I say, I kind of go over to the dragon. Well, I have to swear this oath, right? Like I say, I think oaths have to be sworn in public and they have to be sworn with witnesses. Like that's very important.
Yeah,
You can't swear oaths in the dark. That's just not the
yeah,
way
yeah,
they
yeah,
work.
yeah.
And I say, Hertho, I need you to be my witness, and I need you to tell this to Boj what you saw. Like it's an important duty for him right now
Yeah,
to be my witness.
yeah. And I think like he's realizing that like number one, he just saved your life, right?
Yeah,
And everybody's life probably. But he
probably.
also realizes that like you could be gone for decades, right?
To yeah,
And he kind of like is crying, but and also he finally did something right in front of you, like
yeah, right.
but
And I
but it's to exile you, like this poor kid.
yeah,
So much therapy he
God,
needs. uh I hope I'd imagine dwarven therapy is a lot of yelling, but it was probably a good yelling. uh anyway. he uh he nods and says, I'll witness you, Ma.
and he knows about my oath about him too.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I yeah. Um, so I go over and I take the thing. I pick up the tablet and I kind of like set it between us, like to formalize it. Like
Yeah.
there's no ambiguity here. And I say and um I look to Fiona and I say I need to know your brother's name.
You mean the consort's name?
Yes.
Did we ever
No, he's
say
never been
that?
named
Oh, that's awesome.
because the Etharch said, "Oh, his name would hurt too much to say." Right? Like
Yes.
no
Yeah.
one's ever said the consort's
I,
name.
I pulled the total Legolas. That's a line from Lord of the Rings where they're like, "What are they singing about?" And he's like, "It hurts too. It would hurt too much to recount it."
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. His name is uh Vana. Vana here.
Vanahir.
V N
Vanahir.
V N Vanahir
Vanahir. Beautiful.
means
Concert.
beautiful stream.
Concert Vanahir. And does Prince's brother have a title? Does
Probably just Prince.
Yeah. Okay. He could just. All right. So um, I say, for us to swear, I must know your name too. I look at the dragon.
Vanera.
Venera.
ERA.
And so, in the proper forms, as an oath swearer, woohoo!
Yeah.
I say Pelara. I don't think I've ever given Pelara a last name. I mean, she's just Pelara the Pillar, but
Yeah.
like,
I'm fine with that. I don't think
okay,
clan. Yeah, it could be just like Wheelholt, of
yeah,
Wheelholt,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I say my name, that I'm of Willholt, um, in exchange for the release of Prince Chovka and the consort Vanahir. I will serve you, Dragon Banana, and this tome of our lore to be returned to the dwarves. I will serve you, Dragon Banana, until you and digging to the depths of your, you know, digging to the depths of this your desire, you know, to the depths of the earth to find treasures for you until you deem that my slate is clean, till my debt is paid.
Cool.
I think that's pretty straightforward. Pilar doesn't really dick around with oaths.
Yeah.
She's not gonna.
Yeah, yeah. And I think she, Vanera the dragon, repeats the oath, and and uh, you know, you both make your mark on stone, and I think there's like a stalactite growing, and so you both make your mark on that,
Mm-hmm.
and um, Hirtho makes his mark on it,
Mm-hmm. As a
that
witness.
that he's witnessed it.
Nice.
And she says, she like rises up, and like gold and gems kind of cascade off of the back of her wings, and she flaps her wings and flies to a different part of this vault, and you know, reaches into the oubliette and takes out uh, uh, you know, the prince's brother and the consort Vanahir. I think the prince's brother was really badly hurt in Dragonfire,
Mm.
and so like there's just he's kind of like hairless from like here down. He's got like a little bit of like he's got like one braid growing
Mm-hmm.
um, from the rest, and like his eye might even be kind of closed. Like he probably has like a patch over that eye because that eye just got melted out of his skull. And then the consort uh, clearly like got his hand bitten and like has like a pinky and a thumb on his right hand. And
Mm.
and the arm never recovered. Like he clear like they clearly both got really fucked up in a dragon battle.
Yeah.
And I think Fiona Cecile gives Vanahir a hug and says, "Great Dragon Vanira, I could not allow the dwarves of Wheelholt to take on this debt on their own. With your permission, I would stay and help Pilara of Wheelholt pay this debt." And she says, "Pilara is a simple woman, a simple dwarf who is doing what's right for her people and her family and clan. You, Fiona Cecile, you're a subtle one, and I like you not. But I'll let you stay. But know that I'm watching you." Fiona Cecile says, "I know." And Vanahir says, "No, you can't do this." And he says, "I'll be back. Tell my sister I'll be back, and that I've done this of my own will, and not to march any armies or do anything stupid." He says, you don't have to." And he says, "I think I do. We can't let them. We can't let it go like this." And I think they say a couple more things in Elvish that you don't catch.
Mm-hmm.
And they walk. There's this like the Hirtho and Toman, who's like sobbing. He's
Yeah.
the baby, and and Krabika like start walking, the prince's brother and the consort back to the door they came in on.
Yeah, I think I give, um, I think I say my goodbyes to Toman and to Hirtho, and I give them a hug, and I
Yeah,
tug my beard, and I say, I have your braid to remember you by, and I will return, and I expect you to make. I expect when I do that our clan will, will prosper under you. And then I look at Hirtho, and like in the most like you're never gonna get away from this one. Like this is the mother's like worst revenge. As I say, don't make an oath breaker of me, Hirtho.
he says, I don't see any other way to save you.
That's not the oath I was talking about.
I
I'll
know.
return in good time.
And I think he like kisses you on the cheek and says, I'm going to do what needs doing.
He's an adult. I you
Yeah.
know, I can't. I think it's like there's this pivot that happened, and I think in relationships with people that this isn't like a one time thing where like you suddenly go from not respecting somebody to respecting somebody. But Hirtho earned like an enormous amount of respect from Palara in the last several actions that he's done, saving her and everybody, frankly, but
Yeah.
also stopping Boj from coming in here, and just having the restraint that she was always afraid he didn't have. And so he's done all of these things. And in another moment, she might still chastise him. But at this
Yeah.
moment, like he has like built up this cachet of respect that
Yeah.
she's not going to besmirch, right? So she
Yeah.
just lets him have that. Like he can have the last say. And
Yeah. 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 And I that's awesome. And I also know what is going to happen with your children,
yeah,
but I don't want you to know because I kind of think the interesting thing is you like surviving or not, and then going out and finding out what actually became of them.
yeah,
I think is super interesting. So
I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
well, I
I love it.
think
I love it.
they say goodbye. They say their goodbyes, and then the dragon like clears out the gold from that alcove and melts it shut.
Mm,
Like literally, like blows fire on it until the rock melts, and that alcove is no more.
yeah.
And and then it's just like you and Fiona Cecile.
Yeah, and there's this symmetry here where there was an elf and a dwarf that were trapped here, and now there's
Yeah,
an elf and a dwarf that have taken their place.
yeah,
Like I wasn't part of the oath or anything like that, but there is like the certain like rightness of that, like that, like we came to pay that the debt of their trespassing in some way
yeah.
that we're now servicing, the dragon. Yeah,
And I think Venera turns to you and says, I'm sure you are all exhausted. You are both exhausted. The oubliette I put the bridge up on the blue oubliette, and I think you'll find it comfortable. Uh, I will not be trapping you there. That would be against my oath, and it would get in your way of fulfilling your oaths. But I think you'll find that place comfortable. We will begin tomorrow.
Pilar nods, and the dragon had to like fly up to get to the oubliette, and presumably she could just like pick us up and put us there. But Pilar is like, "I'll go to your oubliette. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself there, right? Like
Yeah. Oh,
she's
yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
find."
I don't think Venera was like going to pick you up. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think there was any point where Venera was going to pick you up. I
cool.
think you like walk around, like walk along these like, yeah, yeah, sloping paths that go up. That once probably like led to reading rooms and
Mm-hmm.
stone slabs of lore and maybe even scrolls.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I think the oubliette is like this island of earth in the middle of nothingness, over a bottomless pit. And I think Vanahir and Bulat's brother, who we probably should name at some point,
Chovka is his name.
Chufka,
Yeah.
uh,
Chovck. Like Prince
Chovka,
Chov.
I think they like set up. They've been here for decades, right? And so there's like a little, um, like elvish cottage and like a little dwarven workshop, and
Nice.
you can see where they spent decades.
I don't think they've
You know,
been here that long. Have they? I thought that it was. I thought this was only a few years later.
was it only a few? Well, either way, a few years is
Yeah, yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, cool. They you see like where they had that set up, and um, I think we'll start there next game.
Yeah, I think so too. We're a little early, so if it's okay with you, I'm gonna just like before we end, I'm just gonna talk to Fiona Cecile a bit. I just sort of
Yeah,
wanna, yeah.
yeah. I think Fiona Cecile like takes off his bandolier of daggers and
Mm-hmm.
like hangs them on a hook, and then like takes two more off of his hip and like throws them into like his wooden bedpost. I think they land like one and then the other like right next to it,
Yeah,
practically in the same you know hole.
yeah,
And he looks around and sighs and says, "This won't be boring."
and yeah, and maybe that's it. Maybe I feel like that's a good cap. Like I was like I could ask him stuff, but maybe
Oh, no,
we'll
no, no.
ask him.
Let's ask stuff.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
he turns and says,
Yeah.
"Can I help you, Pilara?"
I think her hand isn't badly injured, but it's sensitive. So she's like, in the same way that someone might need to get help getting like their boots pulled off, she
Yeah,
kind of needs help getting out of her big heavy coat. Like her mining
yeah.
coat. And she kind of grits and she's like, I would normally ask, I would ask Bella, but. But yes, and she like sticks out. She makes a fist of her hand so that it slips through the coat, and she like asks him to like pull the coat off of her. And
Yeah, he does. And he says, "From the ingredients here, I am imagining that in Chovka's home, you'll find some healing salve that he used for his burns that were much more intense than yours. Uh, they should do the trick on your fingers."
yeah, this is she sort of plays the tough person. Like yeah, this is not
Yeah.
right. Like it's this is nothing. And she says so. I thought you liked the stars. Just like in general. I mean, didn't you sort of sing them to be?
My people did. Yes.
I mean, this is natural for me. I belong on the earth, and I swore an oath. Why are you here? I don't
Nothing
begrudge
has
your
felt.
company.
I'm here for two reasons. One, I could not let a brewer show up my people. That's one. That's the smaller reason, maybe. The greater reason is that the stars, the dawn, the dusk, blood, songs have held no magic for me for some time, and I don't know why. And I am filled with an anger that is as bottomless as this pit. I've hurt myself. I've hurt people who care about me. I've hurt people I don't know. And I don't know how to fill it. And I will be able to learn new things here. Sean, you're muted.
She looks at him and um, she's like, "Well, you know what's a really good thing to do when you're just full of anger and frustration and uncertainty and confusion, and you really need to hit something? Hitting a piece of stone over and over again. It's nothing better. Making the immovable move before you, taking the earth that we came from and returning and carving your own path in it." And she knows that this isn't like gonna solve his angst or anything like that, but like she genuinely believes that like if that's what you want, this is gonna be good for you. I don't know how strong he is, how how inclined he is to pick up an axe, but she likes that idea.
I'm not
Uh,
sure that's going to be my role in this endeavor, but we'll see. Either way, I think there'll be interesting things to learn.
well, four
In
hands
a,
are better than two, and if you're on my crew, you better believe you're going to be swinging that pick.
in a matter of minutes, you found an answer to the riddle that Vana here was searching for the years he was here. And she like points to like words carved into the wood of the wall that look like a poem. And he like sings it. And I imagine like the audience is like, oh, we know that wood carved look, like, because that's the same script that was carved into Bina's daughter's wheel.
Wheel, right?
And like it's like on this wall he has written a song, and Fiona Cecile sings it, and it's beautiful. And he says the song is about him trying to find the dragon's name. For some reason, he thought that knowing the dragon's true name would be some kind of secret to getting out.
Well, he learned it. I mean, he was presumably present, hearing all of this happening above, right? So I say, I guess
Yeah.
it was. He learned the dragon's name, and he was free. She's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think dwarves have names are important, but I don't think that they're magical in the same way
Right.
that they are for other people, for elves or for sorcerers, right? So, hey, Saint Guard, is it the riddle of steel? Nice. Um,
Shall I tell you what it is? It's the least I could do. Yeah.
yeah, I dig it. Oh, this is
Should
so good.
should we think about Artha and then maybe rewriting beliefs? Should we do
Yeah,
that
that sounds
since
great.
we've got plenty of time?
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, looking at beliefs. I was supposed to be retired from this delve, but here we go yearning. I'll make sure Bella has an opportunity to join the host after this. I think I did it.
Yeah.
Bella
Persona.
is gonna be a graybeard. Uh, the silver goat will send my sons and others to their death. I will stop him from sending the host into the vault until the excavation is complete. In a roundabout way, I think I did it. The host didn't
I
come in
think,
here.
yeah, Persona. I think it. Yep.
Yeah, I think they were all going to come get murdered. I swear by the burning wheel, I'll keep my son Hertho from becoming an adventurer. Fate, I feel like. I
Yeah,
worked
it's
on
a
it,
fate. It's a fate.
but
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't think I did it.
Yep.
Oath to Warden Boge. I will bring him back a piece of the dragon's treasure.
I
I
think
did
that's a
that.
Persona.
Question. Probably not. but how important is this thing I got? Is this deeds worthy? Like I said, a piece of the treasure, but this is the claim to the vault.
Right.
Is this? I mean, I said I wanted a big deal thing, but is it like capital D big deal thing to the dwarves? Because if so, I'm gonna ask for a deed on that.
Yeah,
I
I
know
think
it's
there's
only.
I think so. I think like this could be that could be the seed. Yes, I think it's a big deal.
Okay.
I think it's a big deal. I'm yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with the deeds. I thought it was really clever, and I think uh, I'm giving you the deeds for two things. One, I think looking for something like that is really cool because you could have said like I'm just looking for the prettiest thing, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't make you roll dice for it, so but that doesn't mean everything you like earn doesn't mean a die roll
Yeah.
necessarily. And the other thing I think is that you like swore an oath to a dragon. I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
And you like you swore to earn that money back, so and pay off that debt, which I think is really cool. So I'm good with the deeds. Yes,
Cool.
totally down with it.
Awesome. When entering a shaft, start by making sure it's ventilated so you can breathe. Did it came up but did not happen. It came up as
Right.
like, oh yeah. Um, when serving Nog, always tell the story of its bring. Ah, that's what I meant to do. I think if it's occurred with you, for by some convenience of storytelling, I have my things with me, which include a keg of Nog. I don't,
Sure.
it's big, but it's not that big that I can't carry it around. Um, so I didn't come up this time, but I would remember to serve Fiona some Nog and tell him the story.
Cool.
That's another way to get his mind off of matters. Anybody who drinks Dwarven Nog is
Yeah.
instantly hammered by it. So
Sounds
didn't
good.
come up. When Fiona Cecile enters room, watches every move. I think that pivoted things. I think that Fiona was definitely a
Yeah.
big player for me. I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Totally.
fateable.
Yep. Fate.
Always get a twinge in the back of my head from impending danger. Yep, that certainly
That
shifted
changed
everything.
everything. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Trait: spirited, folksy wisdom. Um, feel like it's probably going to be a big source of it, but I feel like folksy wisdom came into play in that like we can't let the warden go get killed. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to bring it back to you. Partially because of the oath, but partially because like I knew that if he went in there, everyone else was gonna stampede after him, and this was gonna be a ton of dwarves getting murdered by a dragon.
Yeah.
And it would have been. I mean, like that was my fear, and it came out to be true. So, does that seem right to you?
Yeah. I'm done with it.
Cool. Uh, Accustomed to the dark, greed, oath sworn. Um, I'm not gonna ask one for Oathsworn because I'm gonna ask one for Oath Swearer because that was a huge deal.
Yep. That was a huge deal.
Sixth Sense. I don't think I should get it for that because I got it for the Instinct already. That was
Yeah.
tied to Sixth
Yeah. Yeah.
Sense. And
Yep.
Deep Sense and Dispute Settler did not come up. But it's good to remember. I have a call on for Course Persuasion. I forgot about that. I didn't need it, but Dispute Settler was certainly could have been germane.
Yeah.
All right, so that's two. That's four fate,
And I
five.
think yeah, one deed.
Yeah,
And I think you got Workhorse and Hirtho got MVP.
yeah, he did. I agree. I would say that I think Fiona got Moldbreaker,
Yeah, totally. Totally he did. Yep. Yep,
right?
yep, yep. Good one.
Like for me to do this is unlikely, but it's not out of character. Yeah, for him to
Right.
do it is extremely out of character.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. I like that. I like us divvying up those awards and the Hertho Tunnel. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always gonna be known to me as a Hertho Tunnel. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's three persona, five fate, one deed. Not bad for one night in the dirt.
Yeah. There was a lot of die rolling in that one too. Like your skills got a lot of workout. Like
They sure did.
we rolled a lot of dice, and and I was paying attention. Like I wasn't just throwing up,
Hmm.
little fences between you and what was doing. It really all felt like needed rolls.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
just
I
making
think,
sure.
I mean, if anything, I think you could have called for a steel test when we saw the dragon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I would have just said freeze. I don't know that it would have changed much materially. I would have
yeah.
just been like frozen in state until until hesitation passed. But um, yeah, I don't. And yeah, I mean, you could have also called for tests with the dragon. But I think that there's that time when you're like, I'll do the thing you want. It's like, okay.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And um, yeah, I think there's also like one other thing before we start writing up beliefs. Um, I think when Fiona Cecile says, I don't think that's going to be my role. I think like his follow up is, I think my role is going to be helping you deal with the trolls who are going to be digging these tunnels. And so I think the trolls are like servants of the dragon.
Oh
And
damn.
I think yeah, I think that is what will be, I think you'll be that's going to be your labor force, right?
Yeah.
Um, which I think is interesting, and I think it could be cool. Because we talked about how, you didn't necessarily think of trolls as people. Um, so it's going to be neat to see you having to work with them. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so too. And totally not what Pilar. I mean, she was like, "Well, I got two strong arms. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go picking," and like she did not
Right.
expect to have a workforce at all.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's
So that like just like putting that out there for your beliefs, basically.
yeah. No, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just like, ooh, I'm proud. I think I like. She's like, he did the cool dagger trick. She's settling things down. She's wrapped her hand in some salve, and she's got wrapped up, and she sets down the keg, and she's like, I'm glad I brought my nog. Let me tell you the story of how I brewed this batch.
Right. Right.
So the only belief I can keep right now is I swear by the burning wheel I'll keep my son Hertho from being an adventurer. All the other beliefs are completed, which is
Nice.
remarkable. I feel like that oath, I can't really bring it into play, um, uh, but that's okay. It's still a very important part of the character.
Yeah, and it's out there doing things like there's going to be a really interesting off-screen scene
Nice.
between like your three kids when they get back home
Yeah.
about like, okay, now what do we do? And uh yeah, I might even like write it that because I just like it so much. I think it's going to be really interesting.
That
So
sounds great.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Well, that
you
is
will,
reason enough for me to just have that belief sitting. I've got
yeah,
an extra belief slot anyway because of
yeah.
oaths. It's an oath, so that's perfect. It can just sit. Oh, I need to write an oath though. Oath. I swear to the dragon Venera, because that's got to be a belief. I will dig her. Will dig the vault into the depths of the earth until I earn back my until I pay back my debt. Debt. Cool. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I don't think I'm. All right. Yeah. So that leaves me two beliefs open. Um. Yeah, I do. I do. I feel like I have. I mean, I've got the belief with Venera. Yeah. I think one belief is, I mean, I might workshop these more, but because you've told me this, I'd be like trolls or monsters. Uh, I don't know what the next part is. I think I'm gonna think on that.
Yeah,
On
think about it.
on what to do that. And I think there'll be a belief about Fianni, sharing this debt with me. Um,
Yeah,
and also him, his grief and his sort of grief. It's coarse persuasion is described in the book as the slap on the back, come on, you'll love it, kind of form of
right, right.
persuasion. And I feel like that's pretty appropriate um, to Polara's approach of like, come on, put your back in it. Uh, you'll feel better when your body is physically exhausted and your hands are covered in calluses and you're
Yep.
you know um, yeah, nice,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, I don't know that I have them right now, unless you've got thoughts, because I'm
No, 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 no.
more.
I think just like getting like ideas. All right, I want something about the trolls. I want something about Fiona Cecile. I've got one about the dragon. I'm keeping this other one. Like that's all you need to do, and then we'll like talk about it, and then over the course of the next 2 weeks,
Yeah,
so that we've got them. So that I think you've got an idea of what you want to chase, and I've got an idea of how I want to challenge them, and we'll go from there.
that sounds great. That sounds good.
Um,
Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. This was a hell of a session. I mean, this was the Into the Dragon's Vault, the Eye of the Dragon opening. Yeah, thank you, Jed. This is rad. This is very
awesome.
cool. Not at all what I
Th-
expected.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm glad that we can both surprise each other sometimes.
Yes. Totally.
And that detail about the birding wheel was just felt really right for this world that we've been playing in.
Yeah.
I
That was great.
I,
It was a
I
really I liked it. I liked it. For some reason, it reminds me of the of that of the Pirates of the Caribbean where she says parlay, and he says, well, it's more of a suggestion than a real rule. Like
right,
I
right.
just feel like that could have gone like way against you, or someone's like,
Right. I mean, that's why
yeah,
it was like you said, okay, this allows you to make a course persuasion check
yeah,
rather than,
yeah.
all right, this just works, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's
Otherwise,
like,
everyone all over battles would be like, "Oh, I got
I got
my
the
wheels
wheel,
on
I set it on
fire."
fire, don't kill me, please, please, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Please, please, please.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I was feeling very, Highlander, we don't fight on holy ground kind of
yeah, yeah,
vibe,
yeah.
and
Totally.
I'm glad it worked. Uh, Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you for hanging out. This was great. I'm Sean. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me everywhere on Twitter at Sean Nittner. I'll put in my links here in the clever little thing.
Yeah,
My game Agon is printed. It's done. It's a real thing. It's in a warehouse somewhere. Thousands of copies of it are sitting in a warehouse right now, and they will get shipped someday. So if you want a copy of it, you can still pre-order it, and they'll be out by October 5th. But I think it's going to be sooner than that, honestly. We were trying to be very conservative with our shipping estimates because of COVID, but so far they've actually been really doing everything way more at their usual schedule than we were predicting. So it could be probably more like September. So anywho, I'm excited those are going to get shipped out. I'm excited that it's done. The stretch goals are almost done, which is also remarkable. I was really afraid that the stretch goals were all going to finish before the core book came out. That would have been a first in Kickstarter history. Anyway, it's good stuff.
yeah,
As I mentioned before, the channel is donating all the proceeds to the Trans Legal Defense Fund and Black Lives Matter. So if you want to if you want to donate to us, we will be forwarding that onto them. That will be great. If you want to give to them directly, that is great. If you want to help in other ways, I'll put a link in on other ways that you can contribute. So thank you all for helping in whatever way you can.
yeah.
How are you, Jed?
My name is
Any other-
Judd. He, him. Thank you for watching and or listening if this is a podcast or whatever way you're imbibing this thing. And my links are right there. You can check out. I've got a blog called Githyanki Diaspora. I've got a podcast called Daydreaming About Dragons. I co-host another podcast about the Trophy RPG with on the Gauntlet podcast network with Jason Cordova. I've been playing Aegon as my Sunday brunch game, and it is a ton of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And my friends are involved in another game that I'm totally jealous that I'm not involved in, but they finished the star chart that is like the most beautiful clock ever created.
The Vault of Heaven? Yes.
Yeah, they've completed the Vault of Heaven, and they basically turned to the GM and they're like, we're not going home. We want a final island that's Mount Olympus, and we're going to depose Zeus.
I love it.
So they're going to depose Zeus and put Hyperion into Zeus's throne. Is the last island, which I think is the most metal thing ever.
It's fantastic. And it's worth noting that great minds think alike. John and I have been hatching a plan about, looking from the sea to the sky to the stars.
Nice.
And so there's a supplement in mind that we're already thinking
awesome.
about.
Awesome.
So when I heard about that, I was like, yes, this is so good.
Yeah. Awesome. And if you look at my links, there's also a YouTube channel. If you want to watch something really strange, you can watch the asynchronous game that Jay is in the chat. We're playing a cyberpunk apocalypse world game. And just to make it totally weirder, it's play by post, but with video. So we're kind of like recording a video and responding to one another and going back and forth.
That game is so good. I've been watching it. Mars Hustle, everybody. Check it out.
It's really weird. And the Mars Operator or the Mars Hustle, I think would be the novel. And I don't know. I think it's really kind of cool. So check it out. You can watch that and tell me why it's a terrible idea that no one's going to watch ever. And and I'll say that's valid. That's totally valid. I'm doing it anyway, but that's valid. And that's about it. Other than asynchronous video play and reading Burning Wheel games for 15 minutes, Burning Wheel rules for 15 minutes at a time. And that's why I get the views I do. That's just why I get the dozens of views. Dozens, I'm telling you. Tens. I'm a dozenaire. So anyway, thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
that was fun. Right. Thank you, Sean. That was a lot of fun. I can't believe how Polara rolled this game.
I know. It was on fire. And yet did not reduce any of the tension. There was zero oh, well, I guess there's no threat here after all. Everything was like felt by the skin of her teeth. And it felt like, oh, if she doesn't hit this one, it's going to be really bad. Oh, if we miss this one, it's going to be really bad. And everything felt pretty high stakes because it was. And the threats all felt very real. So
cool. I mean, and she's not a brawler, right? So you definitely were like running. You weren't running head on to every conflict, right?
Yeah,
you were kind of skirting them.
Yeah, absolutely. She has a G2 brawling skill, but that's really but no weapon skills, right? Again, I'm not playing a character who is a fighter. She is that's meant for like bar room and pushing and shoving. That's meant for wrangling dwarven babies. It's not meant for killing people.
So she reminds me of I've been taking jiu-jitsu for years, and I know just well enough to know that that you shouldn't wrestle strangers. So is my is like the level that I'm at, and I was rolling with this guy who was an apprentice steel worker. So basically, you got to imagine there's this huge dude who all day long is an apprentice steelworker. So the other steelworkers are like, oh, I don't want to lift this thing. Hey, Jake, go lift that. I don't want to lift it. Like that's this guy's lot in life, right? So I'm wrestling this guy because that's what I do for fun. And there's like a conventional wisdom that if this steelworker is on his back and I'm on top of him, he shouldn't be able to get up, right? Like he shouldn't be able to bench press me. Like that's just not.
It's not a thing people can normally do.
It's not a thing people can do. Like you can bench press me if you want, but I'm just going to lay with my weight down on you and let you tire your arms out. But that's because I'd never wrestled someone with a gray strength before. And I was on top of his chest and he stood up with me like held and then like put me down like his little brother, right? And I imagine like that's what it's like to wrestle Polara, right? She would just like hold you up, put you back down, and then smack you around with her brawling skill.
Yeah.
The gray strength, the gray fort is no joke, I guess is what I'm saying. It's a thing.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great image. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
also I also was a little bit sly because improvised weapons are also used under the brawling skill, and a pick is an
ah,
improvised weapon. So if you
oh,
just happen to pick
nice.
up a pick, or
If
it's
one just
considered
happens to be around,
one
yeah.
just happens to be around. So I was like, that this tracks in every way. I love it. It's not formalized martial skill, but if I had to use a pick, I'm ready for it. So. Okay, great. We have been gabbing a whole bunch, which has been delightful, but I'm sure folks want to hear those sweet, sweet ending tunes. I do have a nice closing page now that is that has our upcoming shows. So instead of just seeing the closing music or the closing screen, you can actually see what's coming up next. So maybe that's fun too. Anywho, we'll see you all in a couple weeks when this show comes back, and Judd, we'll see you tomorrow for Thief and the Necromancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good night.